Say Helgen got hit by a dragon. One of those horrors comes here. We'll be ready.
Improved Housecarls and Hirelings mod for Skyrim Special Edition by Dr. Nukenstein. Mod demonstration video introduction. What this mod does is improves Housecarls and Hirelings and other such followers, such as the companions, by giving them skill perks and other adjustments relating to their skills. Also adjusts their armor and weapons as needed and where applicable, and corrects various issues with that I found with the vanilla settings for their skills and their inventory and their classes and combat styles. This mod affects everyone in the potential follower faction list. So let's look at the creation kit. Faction, potential follower faction. This is everyone that you can recruit as a follower, not including the Dark Brotherhood initiates that you can acquire at the conclusion of the Dark Brotherhood quest line. This does include the companions, the College of Winterhold mages, and of course Housecarls and Hirelings. Now, the mod also does affect, where are they? Miko, the dog you find between Morthal and Solitude, and Vigilance, the dog that you can purchase from the guy at Markarth's stables. This does apparently cover the stray dog. They didn't get much. He's not essential. Didn't get any bonuses like that. But Miko is essential. But he didn't get any perks for some reason. I keep forgetting to do that. Creature extra damage, copy stack, vigilance. Let's go ahead and do that. Right, paste. Right, so now he does extra damage also. Now, right. Now, this mod also affects Atronachs. Summoned Atronachs only. Flame, Frost, and Storm Atronachs. They are not essential. All followers are essential. All followers have Lightfoot. There are some dungeons where the Lightfoot perk is ignored and pressure plates will trigger anyway. That is a vanilla issue that has nothing to do with this mod. However, for those dungeons where pressure plates do respect the Lightfoot perk, followers will not set those off. All followers have perks, skill perks pertinent to their skill set. In the case of Atronachs, they have element related perks and destruction perks. The Flame Atronach, being Living Flame, does have Lightfoot. The other two do not. Flame Atronachs cast Incinerate. Storm Atronachs cast Thunderbolt. These are destruction level 75 spells. The Frost Atronach could not cast spells to begin with. so it does not have any spells. This only affects those that are summoned by either the player or NPCs, including enemy NPCs. This does not affect Atronachs that you find loose in the world, such as the one where you see a flame Atronach and a hag raven going at it somewhere out on the road. That flame Atronach is not covered by this mod because it is not summoned. It's a completely different setup. The Atronachs that you find in and around Felglow Keep are not covered. Flame Thralls that the player can summon are Atronach Thralls, Storm, Frost, and Flame that the player can summon are covered. And these are the ones that when you summon it, it stays there until you kill it. Those are covered by the mod. Dremora Lords are covered by the mod. Those that can be summoned. Not the ones found in Azura's Star or the Shrine of Dagon. I don't think. I don't know if those are summoned or if they just appear. At any rate, every follower and Atronachs have their own demonstration video on my YouTube channel, which if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, look around, they are there. Dremora Lords and Atronachs are 2 times the player's level, and they are not essential. They did get a moderate health bonus to keep them from being killed so easily in group melee attacks. The vanilla Dremora Lord did get a few perks pertaining to two-handed, great swords, and heavy armor. Nothing much. There is a custom female Dremora Lord that also 2 times the player's level, has a full set of highest level fire damage Daedric weapons, and a wide range of perks covering all weapon types, heavy armor, and Lightfoot, of course, and on like that. As far as I remember, the only NPC that can summon this custom Dremora Lord is Aranya from the Shrine of Azura. When she reaches Conjuration skill of 100, she will cast a spell that will summon both Dremora Lords at once. I believe Teldrin Sero, I think I gave him from Dragonborn. I think I gave him the spell to summon either of these as well. I can't remember. But you'll have to look at his individual video to be sure. Because I've completed all of the followers' videos, and I had to go back and redo the intro because I'm trying to get it under 1 hour long. Now, because there's a lot to go over. As I said, this covers everyone and potential follower faction. This covers as I said, the dogs, Miko, Stray Dog, and Vigilance. This does cover the Death Hounds from Dawnguard if you play as a vampire. It does cover the Armored Huskies if you play for the Dawnguard, side with the Dawnguard. This does not cover the Armored Trolls from Dawnguard. This does not cover Reeklings from Dragonborn. The only videos that I do not have so far, demonstration videos that I do not have so far, are Freya from Dragonborn, and the Dark Brotherhood Initiates, because you only acquire them at the conclusion of those quest lines. The only faction quest lines that I have, the only faction quest line that I have completed is companions. In order to acquire those followers, you can only acquire them at the conclusion of that quest line. The mages from College of Winterhold, you can acquire them after returning the stolen books from Felglow Keep, or returning with them. You don't actually have to turn them in, but as soon as you retrieve those books from Felglow Keep, the 3 college mages personal assistance quests become available, and then you can recruit them at the completion of those quests. Retrieving Anmun's amulet, letting Brella Marion practice her spells on you, testing out Jazargo's flame scrolls. If you do it right, you can get all 3 of those knocked out at once. Other than that, the Dark Brotherhood Initiates, you only get them at the conclusion of the Dark Brotherhood quest. Freya, you only get her as a follower at the conclusion of the Dragonborn main story DLC. Housecarls, of course, you can do their quests, those Housecarl quests, including the Hearthfires quests to get those. Dawnguard followers, you acquire them. As far as Belival, Ingiard, Agnir, Durak, and Kellen, you can acquire them as followers upon rescuing the Moth Priest. They show up and are immediately recruitable then. Let's see. I know there's something I'm forgetting. There's no way I'm done yet. Now I have just left. I started the game. I'm level 9 right now. For most of the individual demonstration videos for the followers, I am level 10 or level 11. This was the most recent new game that I started so that I could start the Companions quest line at as low a level as possible, and thus complete it at as low a level as possible so that I could acquire all of the followers from the Companions at as low a level as possible, to keep them all in about the same range. Because the way I do it is I leave Helgen, I get my character set up with the magic and the items that I'm going to need and that I'm going to use, and I save, I go get 1 follower, and then take them through Volenrud. Everyone goes through Volenrud, and then see how they do. And then at the end of that run, I reload the save, I go get a different follower, take them through Volenrud, and go on and on like that. I like Volenrud because it is divided up into 3 sections. One side has very few Draugr, very low level Draugr, one fairly high level shouting Draugr, mostly melee, couple of magic users in there, or 1 magic user, and 1 that can shout. And then the opposite side, which has multiple tiers, multiple elevations, archers, one-handed, two-handed, magic user, and tougher Draugr. And then the third section, which includes a few Draugr, but one is a spellcaster and summoner and melee. The other, Kavinal, is a berserker melee dual wielder, and so it's 3 progressive levels of difficulty. I do let the followers do all the work, and I observe so that I can see how effective they will be, how much help they will be to the player, and how much help the player will have to render, how much assistance the player will have to render to them. This is a good test, in my opinion, of their effectiveness as a follower. I do recommend a multi-follower mod like Amazing Follower Tweaks, which I have tested with improved Housecarls and Hirelings. It does work, at least as far as I have tested it, which was setting their essential flags if needed. They are all set up to be essential from the start of the game. There are some that through their quests, their essential flag is turned off. The college mages and Erender from Nightcaller Temple, the Shrine of Vermina for the Skull of Corruption Daedric artifact quest. You can acquire him as a follower if you let him destroy the Skull of Corruption. However, because that quest does allow you to kill him before he destroys it, the quest turns his essential flag off. For the college mages, I don't know why their quest turns their essential flag off at the start of the game, but it does. So that is something that you might want to look into. I strongly recommend, like I said, a multi-follower mod like AFT, because a lot of these followers are specialized in one skill, such as archery, or magic only with no melee, melee only with no magic, and on like that. There are some that are strictly two-handed, and they will need assistance from either a one-handed melee, or a magic user, or a archer, something like that. I've tried to make this more like a traditional role-playing game in that sense, where you have specialized characters that cannot do it all. Many of them can do melee and archery. There are a couple of spell swords, so they can cast magic or use melee equally effectively. But for the most part, or I won't say for the most part, but there are some who do specialize in just one skill. Now, let's go back to the creation kit. Everyone has their own demonstration video, like I said. All the followers. Housecarls are better than everyone else. They have to be, because these are the Jarl's personal bodyguards. If anything happens to their current personal bodyguard, such as Balgruuf has Irileth, if anything happens to Irileth, the Jarl needs someone, Balgruuf needs someone to take her place that is equally capable. So that's why it's such an honor to be named a Thane and assigned a Housecarl, because these are the Jarl's personal bodyguards that he assigns, people that he is thoroughly impressed with. These are not slouches. These are, the best of the best. Better than everyone else, all the standing forces, standing military guards, whatever, of the hold. These are the top level. They have to be. Everyone is leveled to the player. Everyone has a max level of 255. Everyone is some multiple of the player. Some are leveled lower because of their experience level, such as Eric the Slayer. He is 0.8 times the player's level, so that when you are level 10, he is level 8. Others, like I said, Housecarls are 1.7 times the player's level. So when you're level 10, they're level 17. Hirelings, they fluctuate. 1. Stenvar in this case, Stenvar is 1.4 times the player's level. So when you're level 10, he's level 14. They've been doing this for a while. Janassa, 1.5 times the player's level. She's been doing this a bit longer, a little more experience. Belrand, 1.4 times the player's level. Mercurio, 1.25 times the player's level. He hasn't really been doing it as long. I still suspect he is more of a huckster than an actual, he's not as good as he claims to be. He just strikes me as the kind of guy that he's just, he went to college. He went to the College of Winterhold, didn't care for the rules, bought the outfit, bought some spell tomes, and then went to ply his trade for coin in Riften. Others, Vorstag, 1.3 times the player's level. He's been doing it for a while, but kind of not as good as somebody else. Others, Uthgard, she's been doing this for a while. Goldir from Hilgrin's Tomb, he hasn't been doing this for a while, so he's level matched to the player. He could actually be set lower, but and then you have, like I said, the college mages who have some experience in magic above the player as far as focused training, but they're not really that much better. So only 1.1 times the player's level. Whereas Brella Marion from a mage household, from House Telvanni, the Telvanni Wizards of Morrowind, she's got a little more training from the locals, but she's going to the College of Winterhold to escape all the pressures of Morrowind, all the political pressures of the great houses. And then you have, of course, the companions. Now, most of those are noobs, just like you are when you join the companions, but they have some experience. They do have to prove themselves against Vilcus. Higher level companions, the Circle, they're higher level than the rest of them. Ayla, Vilcus, and Farkas, they're going to be higher level than the others. Stronghold Orcs. Orcs are born to do it, okay? And then you have others like Rogi Knotbeard, okay? His vanilla setting is 0.75 times the player's level, right? And there are some, they are not intended to be combat veterans. There's really no other function for followers in this game than either to serve as luggage or assistance while you plunder the depths of ancient ruins and face almost certain death. Now, as I said, there's no real point to having followers other than that. But these some of these people are not like Rogi Knotbeard. Okay, you paid off his bar tab. That does not necessarily mean that he is going to repay you by risking his life. Okay, the most he would have gotten was 30 days in jail for not paying his bar tab if the barkeep, pressed charges. This is, paying off his bar tab does not equate to risking his life for you. Okay, cut your grass, watch your kids, feed your horse, that sort of thing. Not risk his life going up against Draugr, Dwemer creations, bandits, ghosts and stuff. Really. Same with Dirkethis, Annika. She's just looking for a little excitement in life. Okay, she's not really looking to, come home with a limb missing. But then you have others. She's all about it. Yeah, let's go kill something. Koznak, really. But like I said, there's no real other use for these followers than that. Some are going to be better at it than others. Now, I know I'm forgetting a buttload of stuff. Let me find... Come on. I had this written down. I deleted it. What a dumb button. Anyway, as I said, all followers have perks. All followers are essential. All followers have Lightfoot. Everyone gets their own horse. All followers, except Rogie Nutbeard and Kynes Grove, have their own horse. Their horses are found outside the city where the follower is acquired. So all of these horses belong to the companions, Janessa, Uthgerd, and Lydia, and there is also a free horse for the player called Your Horse. You walk up to it and it says ride your horse. This is your horse. It's free. When you have a follower and they are actively following you and they are outside and you get on your horse, they will get on their horse. So you see, here's some companions. I'm not actually in the companions yet, so they are not actually following me. So that's why they're not getting on their horses. Now this is the horse I was riding. He is now going back home. When you dismiss your follower and then get on your horse, their horse will go home. If they're following you and you get off your horse, you wait a little bit, they get off their horse stays nearby. Now, man, I wish I hadn't deleted that. Now, this courier is worrying me to death, trying to ask me something, give me a freaking letter from the Jarl. Edition. No, wait, it's on the desktop. There it is. There are 62 potential followers in the game. This includes the 40 from the base game, plus Salma from Ironbind Barrow, whom I did turn into a follower. Plus the 3 dogs, Stray Dog, Vigilance, and Miko, the 2 Dark Brotherhood initiates, the 3 Housecarls from Hearthfires, 10 followers from Dawnguard DLC, including 4 dogs and Serana, the Deathhounds, and the Armored Huskies, plus 3 from Dragonborn. No Reeklings, no Trolls. I did not do anything for the Reekling followers. I did not do anything for the Armored Trolls. Did not do anything for the Mist Men or Wraith Men or Seekers that you can summon from Dragonborn and Dawnguard. The only summons that were affected were the Atronachs and the Dremora Lords. I did have to, which I will go over those. Those are covered in the. There are a lot of things that are covered in the individual videos. I suggest you watch them because they go over things like classes that were edited and corrected. But suffice it to say, there were some, especially the trainer classes, were in need of adjustment. Some of them had incorrect settings, incorrect weights for the skill for which they concern. One of the archer classes had marksman. One of the marksman classes actually had points to alchemy instead of archery, on like that. Most of these classes are used only by one NPC. That's what this users column is for, is how many people use this. So there are two people, Majad and Rajinda, that can teach you expert lockpicking. Master lockpicking, Vex. She's the only one. Like I said, most of these, so any edits made to these classes will only affect one NPC. There were heavy armor, use info, Farkas. I had to edit one quest. Where is it? Quest. Which I covered this in Farkas's video. I also had to edit a dungeon quest, Ironbind Barrow, in order to get Salma as a follower. However, I edited her alias, and that was the only thing. That will be covered in detail in her video. She has two videos, one on how to acquire her, and the other where we actually go through Volenrud. But those are the only two quests that I edited. Now, that's right. Let's see, Brawl Buddies. Okay, Brawl Buddies, Uthgard and Benor. I gave them a relationship to the player that will allow you to simply walk up to them and recruit them for as a follower without having to actually fight them, because I've been having the brawl bug issue with them, where I win the fight, I don't get the recruitment dialogue. Koznak is the other brawl buddy, but you really don't have to fight him if you have ale or mead. That is vanilla as far as I can tell. If you have ale or mead in your inventory, you give him a drink and then you can recruit him. But no mages are allowed to cast wards, area of effect spells, or turn undead. Mages are split up into, mage followers are split up into low to mid and mid to high level, so that you will, some you will not be able to use until you are level 12. Others will outlive their usefulness when you get a high enough level, because they will not have higher level spells. Now, as I said, go through their individual videos for the details on which ones are which. We're going over my list of topics. Now, the perks that I have given them are, of course, the same perks that the player can get for their skills. Perks for NPCs are not dependent on, do not have the same dependencies as for the player. For example, NPCs do not need Power Bash in order to use Deadly Bash or Disarming Bash and Shield Charge. They do not have to be block of 100 to use shield charge. They are not limited to the level requirements for any of them. This is only for the player. And that goes for all skills. Now, as I said, the skills they have are the same ones that the player can get. These are really the only skills available, perks rather. Perks that they have are the same ones that the player can get. The perks are these are the only perks available in the game. There is actually one that is not listed in the perk tree, and it is called Headsman. I thought it used to be, but anyway, this is for dual wielders. They can, I thought it was like right in the middle between dual savagery and dual flurry. It was, they removed it. This requires 30, requires 70. There was a perk right here in the middle, they removed it. It's called Headsman. The ability to, or the chance to perform a decapitation while performing a dual wielding power attack. Now, let's see. As I said, everyone is essential, everyone has Lightfoot. That should be it. As I said, go through the individual videos. They cover a lot more. They cover things that are specific to them and their classes and their abilities, particularly with regards to mages and wards, area of effect spells, and turning undead, and their low to mid and mid to high level settings. And really that's it. So, as I said, go through the other videos for more information on the mod and what changes are made and what improvements are made to each individual follower, as well as those overall changes to the game that I've had to implement in order to affect these changes. And like and subscribe if you want. So, have a good one.